Hello, this is going to be the second time I record this. The first time, for some reason, the upload failed. So hopefully I can do this better this time. So Nostr stats, I see you have some stats here, and it's kind of like a basic list of things. I don't think anything's clickable here. Oh wait. Users is clickable. Alright. We got some users, still a little bit of stretch here. I hadn't realized any of these stats were clickable. The first video didn't even show that. Didn't even consider this. Let's see. Oh, there's a little loading ostrich. That's cool. Relays are clickable. Nice. What else is here? Huh, I was about to just give you advice, and then I saw this stuff as clickable. Posts, events, trusted users. What are trusted users? Pub keys. You know what? I think what happened was I was trying to click on pub keys before, and maybe some of these things. I hadn't realized that you can click on everything. Let's see posts. Is this going to show me posts? Wow. I guess it does. So I guess I'll start from this point. Well, let's go to homepage real quick, and then we'll look at posts again. I don't know what your goal, like entire goal is, just to make it look nicer or presentable or what, or like be able to drill down into data. I think depending on the goal there, you might have different options. First of all, just like style wise, I would probably de-emphasize the borders a little bit, like just make it opacity, like set an opacity to it, maybe 20, 30, 40, just to test out, see what it looks like. But generally speaking, you don't want the borders to stand out this much as a kind of design principle. Another thing to consider is how you present the stats. Right now it's just like a table, which is okay if you want this to be like a power user tool. You want people just to click through and drill down. But if you want to present it nicely, you could do something like a bento grid or some kind of dashboard widget style where you have these larger numbers with larger labels, but larger numbers than the labels, I guess. You can do all sorts of things design-wise to add some, you know, just make it look a little bit nicer, I guess. Yeah, if you look at bentogrids.com, there's all sorts of ideas you can have, and all sorts of ways that you can design things, right? So you could have something like this, even where it says how many users there are, and you could show like a picture of some people or something, some popular profiles. I don't know, there's many different ways that you could present that, the numbers here on the front page. But if you don't want to go that far, you could just kind of clean up the borders a little bit. But let's go ahead and look at some of the other content here. Let's look at posts. One thing to consider, or what I typically tell people to consider, is the line length. You can see the line length is pretty long. Like by the time you get to this point, you have to kind of drop off and go back to here. And it's a little bit harder for humans to follow this kind of long line length. What I would recommend is cutting it off right about here. What I typically do is I count the characters, and you want generally between 65 to 85 characters. 85 being like the max. And that's usually better for longer posts, like if you have a book or something, 85 characters is good. But if you want to have something like notes like this, right, I would aim for 75 characters. And if you just take a mouse, literally just go like line by line, go right, like count the characters, or just do a character count on it. You'll see that it probably cuts off right around here, right after and. So I like right here. I'll click it like this. And that's generally the accepted kind of character line width. So I think just doing that would help a lot in making this look nicer, as just kind of narrowing the field. And yeah, I mean, the rest kind of depends on what you want to do with this. Like, what is the ultimate goal? Is the goal just to find specific notes that you perhaps missed in the previous dates? Are you actually using this as a kind of client where you're actually reading and replying? It doesn't look to me like that, because you can't really reply here. There's no compose button. So it looks to be more of a research tool that you can look at. Again, on this one, I would also recommend like de-emphasizing the borders. Maybe even like using one line to divide things instead of have an individual kind of note that's separated. The reason being mostly just because it's a little tougher to read when things are separated like this, especially if you're just scrolling through. You want to see what's there. But yeah, just de-emphasizing the border I think would go a long way in narrowing the width of the page, of the container, and considering just dividing it with a single line and making it basically a list instead of like a card view, like a list divided by a single line. Let's see what else here. You could apply some borders to it as well if you do keep all the kind of widget style border all around. You could maybe apply some border radius to it so it's not as sharp. That could help a little bit. You could also just get rid of this padding here, or this gap between the items, and just stick it all together so the borders overlap, so you have a nice little column with a single border like I mentioned previously. Alright, let's see what else is here. Some images, some text that I don't understand. Alright, and some other text. I think that's probably all I'll give you. Like the images, of course, they could be a full width if you wanted to. If you narrow the column width here to here, then the images would look really great full width. They wouldn't be too wide, but it wouldn't take too much space vertically. Obviously, it would take more space, but they would look better. Another thing you could do, if you have the capacity to do it, you could do like a gallery view. Wherever there is multiple images here, you could do like almost like a bento grid, or what do they call those things? Masonry grid. Yeah, like you could do like a little grid or something that fits into a little container. Gallery view, that would be really cool. I don't know if that's overkill for kind of a statistics research purpose client, and not necessarily like a daily viewing client, unless you want it to be a daily viewing client. In that case, you could spend more time and effort on it. But yeah, just having a nice gallery view where they're kind of aligned in the grid or something. I'm pretty sure if you just type JavaScript gallery script or something, right, you'll probably have a couple options to choose from. So yeah, hopefully that helps. If you have any specific ideas for where you want to take this, if you want to give me more details, because you didn't really ask me for anything, you just said I could have somebody look at this visually, and I think that's all I did there. Last thing I'll note here before I sign off is like there's no branding on this page. So if somebody comes to one of these notes, they don't know what this website is. It would help to have like your Nostr stats maybe here somewhere, either within the container or wider width nav bar or something to show that the branding exists on every page, and you know where you are no matter where you land, right? I don't know if you can click on individual notes. You can click on profiles here, I guess. It goes somewhere else, I think. Let's see. Pages, posts. Oh, this is end jump. Okay, yeah. So you're not actually like rendering the profiles, but there's some other data, right? Let's see real quick. Loading. I like the little running ostrich. That's nice. Zap them all. Zaps. Posts. We saw posts. Okay, let's take a look at users real quick. So this looks to be like I don't know. Is this a material, or is this like? Is this Bootstrap? It looks like Bootstrap, right? So you can see like the profile images are a little bit stretched here, right? I don't know if this guy's is just stretched or if it's all stretched. This is not stretched. Maybe just that person. So I think you could render the profiles a little bit nicer too in like a card view. I don't know if you have to have the same exact format as all the other pages where you just have a table with items. You could also try to do like 3 or 4 profiles in one row, and 4 columns, basically 3 to 4 columns. You could try that, or just adding some you could make it like a card where instead of borders you use a color that's separate from this color, lighter color than the background, and kind of box it in. But from that point of view, I would probably just also do three columns. I think that's what I would do. And I think that's it. Alright, hopefully this helps. I'll stop it here.